Live from the studio of Presbyterian Theological College. This is PTC News. For today's headline, global trade increases according to the Design Agency. Philippines economy starting to improve. That's after COVID-19 pandemic. Food security in the Philippines is in difficult times. That's according to statistics. Poverty statistics in the Philippines increases after COVID-19, according to the Philippine Statistics Agency. Inequality of power still extreme, according to survey. For our global news, overseas Filipino workers still the top contributor of the Philippines' gross national product. Global income inequality still a problem, according to study. The third world and global south still in the fight to improve their economy. Details will follow.
The number of overseas Filipino workers abroad increases. That's according to the Philippine Statistics Authority. The urge of traveling abroad by Filipino workers, that's because to provide a better future of every Filipino family. More details with Marianne.
Thank you, Jun. Sigudi, Philippines. This is Marianne Bangkat from PTC reporting. According to the Philippine Statistics Authority, the newest number of overseas Filipino workers or Filipino workers who work abroad during the period of April to September 2021 was estimated at 1.83 million. Our overseas Filipino workers, or known as OFW, are our modern heroes because they contributed to the economic growth of our country through their remittance and, most importantly, their personal sacrifice to give their families a comfortable life despite fighting homesickness. So today, we are here to give some interviews with an OFW. So let's now proceed with our questions. But before that, let's keep his identity as a secret for security purposes. First question. How long have you stayed abroad, sir?
As an OFW, I've stayed working abroad for 25 years.
So what are your purposes for your stay there?
My purpose in staying in working abroad is to earn better for the family.
What are your most unforgettable experience and how will you describe it? Is it good or bad?
My unforgettable experience as a seaman, battling these storms and battling for big waves, and it is really bad earning like this, it's really very sad.
So how will you compare the Philippines with another country?
Comparing to our country, Philippines, it's really very good to stay here in the Philippines because the people here are so loving, kind, caring, and most of all, family is so close to each other.
Do you want to go back abroad or to other countries in the future?
Yes, because earning abroad is more better than here in the Philippines.
Thank you for your time, sir. Have a great day. People in the Philippines tend to go out of the country and work, as the opportunities and wages are much better than what is available in the Philippines. OFWs often faces many challenges, such as adapting to a new culture and missing their families back home. Despite these challenges, they will continue to work abroad to give their betterment to their families and continue also to be an important part of the Philippine economy. Thank you everyone, God bless, and have a good day. Let's go back to the studio.
Another global news. According to survey, the global trade is improving and increasing. That's after the pandemic. More and more global trade around the world are happening. Marie May on her detailed report.
Climate change is an existential threat to people's lives. It is also reshaping countries' economic and trade prospects. The World Trade Organization launched a report at the Climate Change Summit COP27 looking at the complex relationship between climate change and international trade. The effects of climate change, including increased temperature, rising sea levels, and increased intensity of frequency extreme weather events, are going to lead to productivity losses, damage to infrastructure, and disrupt supply chains. Many countries are going to see changes in their economic and trade patterns, and this is particularly relevant for the agriculture and tourism sectors. Trade is a force multiplier for adapting to climate change. Although adapting to climate change will remain costly and disruptive, trade can reduce costs and improve access to climate resilience technologies and essential goods such as health and food products. This is particularly importantly for vulnerable economies. Although trade, like many current economic activities, generates greenhouse gas emissions, it also plays an important role in the transition to a low-carbon economy. Our simulation shows that removing tariffs and other trade barriers on energy-related environmental goods such as hydrogen, solar panels, and wind turbines will help increase exports in this product by 5%. It will also reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 0.6% by 2030. The report finds that international cooperation can make climate action more effective and make the transition to a low-carbon economy more just and inclusive. Unilateral and uncoordinated trade-related climate measures can end up creating tensions and imposing unnecessary huge costs. Conversely, trade cooperation can minimize trade tensions and support a stable environmental for investing and deploying low-carbon and climate resilience technology.
Philippine economy improves. That's after pandemic, according to the Philippine Statistics Authority. Philippines slowly improving the Filipino economy. More detail with the report by Freddy. Freddy.
Good morning, Pretty Budago reporting about Philippine economic report. So, in the April 2023 edition of its flagship publicated Asian Development Outlook (EDO), the EDO forecasted the Philippine economy to grow by 6.0% in 2023. This is the same level that the multilateral leader projected for the country 2023 growth rate. In other stories, 8 of 70 Pasay jail escapes, re-arrested police, over 100 IC outbound passengers at the onset of Holy Week, PCG 6.1 magnitude. The EBD said the Philippine economic growth is expected to moderate but will remain on a healthy expansion mode underpinned by rising domestic demand and a recovery in service, particular tourism. The Philippines will grow at its potential this year and next and is on the track toward its goal to become an upper middle income country, said EBD Philippines Country Director Kelly Berg. Like most other economies, the Philippines will increasingly challenged by the impact of climate, the effect of emerging technologies on the labor market, Berg said. Key to sustaining a strong growth momentum and keeping public infrastructure spending at levels above 5.0% of GDP, as the government has planned for this year, and in the medium-term high-impact infrastructure project that will be help connect communities to markets and public service and provide access, job, and livelihood will help increase rural incomes and support. And that's all the latest for today. Back to you, Anchorman Akas.
Food security in the country is one of the top priority of the government. According to statistics, the effort on improving the food security of a country is the priority. Nino has more details of his report. Nino.
According to the Philippines Institution of Department of Study, or PIDS, with the traditional agricultural method falling short, investing in the new technologies is the key transforming the country's livestock, poultry, and dairy industry. The Philippines' food security and food inflations are related and are growing problem. It was reported that the national average for food inflation rose from 6.5% in September. Of the food items, the foremost drivers of the higher food inflations are sugar, competency, and dessert, 32.2%, corn, 26.2%, and oil and fats are 20.1%. The big problem is the lack of productivity of our agricultural sector. Factoring methods and antiquated in the economics of agriculture and prevents that farmers and government are focused of rice.
The Philippine government reported that the poverty status of the country is slowly decreasing. According to statistics, after the pandemic, a lot of jobs are coming back, so the status of life in the Filipino people are slowly improving. Sheila Banhao in her report details.
Nearly 22 million of Filipinos are living in poverty. According to the Philippine Statistics Authorities, it is recorded that the population of the Philippines is 113,660,265.
Quezon City is one of the most populated cities in the Philippines with over 2.9 million of inhabitants. Due to overpopulation that have caused poverty, some people are laying down in the streets and have no place to go home. Poverty increased even more higher because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Since 2019 that have caused the world with total shock, especially in our economy. The unemployment rate of the Philippines have increased because the establishments are locked down. Because of this, parents often can't make money to support the needs of their family. Children are forced to be taken out from school and to do works that could sustain their families. Children are highly affected of poverty because they are one of the vulnerable people in the society. They easily get sick and can't sustain their daily needs on their own. Arsenio Balisacan, former Director General of the National Economic and Development Authority of the Philippines, have said that poverty alleviation and education should be given priority now. Despite of everything, you could see in the eyes of the children that they envision hope in the future.
This is Sheila Banao, reported in Cantil-Id, Dumaguete City, Negros Oriental. Back to you, June.
Inequality of power still on the top concern of the Philippine government. According to survey across all nations, we still have experiencing several inequality that's as far as the power is concerned. Dave has more details of the report. Dave, come in.
him patterns, trends, and implication of horizontal inequality in the Philippines. Omar Shadaduddin, Mark Doom, Sheila Reyes, Christian Mina, Runina Asis. Accepted in 18 February 2018, published online on 14 March 2018 and UNU Wider 2018, corrected in the publication February 2019. Abstract and overall decline in equality within a country with since using national levels measures can eventually excuse important progression and equality in the estimation of the level. However, social planners researchers in accordance argue and often underestimated and deciding appropriate spatial and social boundaries along with the inequality should be measured at the local level. We illustrate the consequential natures of this choice by examining an historical unequal country that has experienced a recent overall decline in equality in the national level. Drawing on the census microdata, we show the Philippines made impressive progress in reducing and educational and access to basic public service between 2000 and 2010. This change, however, appears less positive within equality measure the subnational level using spatial, and social boundaries selected the socio-political significance. The Philippines context specifically using measure of total with a group and between a group inequality. We find important difference between the silence heterogeneous groupings Muslim, indigenous person and everyone else, as well as within and between the major islands groupings Mindanao, Visayas and Luzon. We consider the implication of the one of the differences variation in between group and inequality by examining our correlation and within the political stability. And that's all the latest news for today. Back to you, Anchorman Agas.
In global news, inequality of income globally is still the concern of a lot of countries around the world. Milka on her detailed report.
Good afternoon. So, global inequalities are in bad shape and mostly do not appear to be getting better. Disparities today are about the same as they were in the early 20th century. And the pandemic continues to make things worse. The recently released World Inequality Report 2022 sheds light on this problem. With two traditional measures and two new ones, the study adds much to our knowledge of inequality. The first two measures are of the wealth and income. As the chart below shows, current disparities are extreme. The poorest half of the global population owns just 2,900 per adult, while the top 10% owns roughly 190 times as much. Income inequalities are not much better. The richest 10% today snap up 52% of all income. The poorest half to just 8.5%. The two new measures in the report look at ecological and gender inequality. The first is reported through carbon dioxide emissions by income category. This is not just a matter of rich versus poor nations. There are large disparities within all countries between the most well-off and the rest. The report looks at the gender inequality through a breakdown of labor income. Over the past 30 years, women's share of income has only slightly improved. The author made it clear that math can be done about inequality and that it is always political choice. With better policy design, inevitably leading to further development pathways. That's Smoka reporting.
Third world and the global south are records for a lot of improvements for the past several years. Reports will be given to our global correspondent, Jessa May.
Globalization is growing independence of the world's economics, culture, and population brought about by cross-border trade in goods and service, technology, and flows of investment, people, and information. Regionalization, defined as an increase in the cross-border flow of capital, goods, and people within a specific geographical area. Also, it develops from the bottom up through society-driven process coming from markets, private trade, and investment flows, more of which is strictly controlled by government. Globalization and regionalization. The process of globalization and regionalization reemerged during the 1990s, also heightened after the Cold War in the 1990s. In a 2007 survey, Europeans considered globalization bring negative effects to their societies. Also, it many policy makers and scholars think that globalization must be regulated and managed. The trades of and governed globalization can counter the managed globalization of Gopi and Munir, according to his says. Managed globalization refers to all the attempts to make globalization more global. Globalization is one of part of technologies and regionalization. And there's some pictures of image 1980s and Cold War 1990s. This is Jessa May Emperor reporting back to you, John.